Welcome to the Now. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
I'm Mika Burton.
It's Nintendo Switch release week, if you haven't noticed. So it was only a matter of time before the pirates came along to ruin everything.
As they are wont to do. Breath of the Wild has already broken street date in a number of places, but now things have gone one step further because the new Zelda has already been pirated on Wii U, resulting in a number of spoilers and even fans streaming the game days ahead of its release.
So just be warned, if you want to keep the game a mystery, to be very careful on the internet.
Yeah.
We say this like every single time this happens. It happened with Pokemon as well. This is why we just, I guess, can't have nice things and why everything gets spoiled, because pirates. So how exactly did it happen? Well, putting the pieces together from Reddit and a report from Kotaku and a couple of places, it looks like gamers recently discovered they could download a bunch of Breath of the Wild files directly from, get this, Nintendo servers.
What? Why? Come
Security.
on.
Because security.
Because security. So Nintendo took them down, but that didn't stop the files from the internet viral machine. They soon traveled everywhere, including places like where else 4chan, where they were pulled apart to reveal all kinds of things about the game, which, you're welcome, we won't spoil here.
So in addition to that, some also grabbed encrypted files associated with the game, but those couldn't be cracked because they require a digital skeleton key to unlock them. You know, like the kind of key that you can pull from a working version of the game, say like any of the street broken copies of the Wii U version, which have been floating around since last week.
Once pirates had access to that, they were able to fully crack the game for the Wii U, making it playable for anybody with a soft modded console.
And now we have a better idea why console makers don't want you repairing stuff.
Yeah.
And they say repair, they mean mod.
Yeah. So now it's basically open season on Breath of the Wild. These enterprising players have now distributed files showing literally every single weapon and item in the game, plus images of the final boss and even videos of the game's ending cutscene. Oh my god!
So in the Know Before You Go, we basically shared the premise, like, you wake up, you've been asleep, stuff's happened, you gotta go do this stuff. People are like, spoilers, look, I have news for you, you ain't seen nothing. So as if all of that weren't enough, some of these pirates are even streaming the game through from beginning to end.
Oh my lord.
I mean, on the bright side, I guess if you tune into a spoilery stream, that's like something that you're probably okay with seeing. But still, at one point yesterday, one streamer had nearly 1,500 concurrent viewers while he played through his version of Breath of the Wild. It was still working this morning even, but Nintendo has finally taken his and other streams down. It took a while to ramp up the DMCA engine, I guess.
If you're Nintendo, it's never a good thing when your biggest game of the year, and maybe even the last several years, gets this kind of spoilery early access treatment. But fortunately for Nintendo, all is old hat.
Is it fortunately?
Is it fortunately?
Yeah, I don't know. So the same exact thing, complete with the data mining, the entire game being spoiled ahead of launch, that all happened to another major Nintendo release at the end of last year in the form of pirated versions of Pokemon Sun and Moon. Again, before the game even was out.
And that was back in November, when a retail version of Sun and Moon made its way to, where else? 4chan! Nintendo struck back at the pirates by banning anybody who had accessed their servers with the pirated version of the game forever. Dun dun dun!
Nintendo essentially banned the 3DS systems specifically from accessing their network because don't fuck with Nintendo, I guess. I mean, yeah, you could get another 3DS, and in fact, one of the shitty things was a bunch of people talking about they were gonna sell their now semi-bricked 3DS and just get a new one, and I guess
fuck that person.
Yeah, who cares about the next guy? Might be a little bit harder to do given that these early versions of Breath of the Wild are being played on modded consoles, so you're not gonna be able to do much there, but you can expect them to take some kind of measures to protect their IP. Nintendo, very protective.
Very true. Which is exactly what went down a couple of weeks ago with this recent case of the stolen Nintendo Switch. After one gamer posted images of his Switch online 2 weeks ahead of release, Nintendo pulled a full Ganondorf and fired everybody involved with the incident. Apparently, the Switch had been stolen from a US distributor. It fell off the truck.
Yeah, and then was resold illegally. It was nice though, they didn't actually punish the guy who bought it.
Yeah.
They took it back.
Oh, he nicely sent it back.
Yeah, it was one of those like, send it back or else, and it was like, okay, here you go. But
Right.
Either way, it all worked out. But is the latest leak actually going to affect Breath of the Wild sales? probably not too much. The aforementioned Sun and Moon went on to become one of Nintendo's fastest selling titles and one of the biggest hits of last year. It moved nearly 15 million copies by the end of 2016 and really was a record setter for Pokemon even. And if you can set a record for Pokemon, you're doing good.
In all likelihood, Breath of the Wild is still going to be a landmark title for Nintendo when it drops later this week. The review embargo isn't up yet, which is why we're not saying anything too specific about the games ourselves just yet, but that hasn't stopped a number of outlets from getting their reviews out ahead of time.
And most of those have come by way of print magazines, which, they have to get their scores nailed down relatively early in time to get their issues ready for publication, so that's understandable. It's par for the course. The first review came courtesy of Edge magazine, which gave Breath of the Wild a 10 out of 10.
Nice.
They also called it better than Ocarina of Time, which is high praise, and said it was the most important Zelda game in the last 20 years.
Well, damn. As if the hype couldn't get any higher, GamePro Germany's review has also slipped out, revealing a score of 94 out of 100, which is the second highest score they've ever awarded and the highest of this generation so far. For reference, they gave Witcher 3 a 92 out of 100, and their highest rated game ever was Grand Theft Auto 4 with a 95 back in 2008.
Yep, so far it looks like the game is shaping up to be a favorite among critics, and those of us that have played it here like it a lot too, but that's the most we'll say about it for now.
Yeah.
Now, you'll be able to play for yourself this Friday, March 3rd. Till then, might want to stay off the internet since apparently the spoilers are going to be all over the place. It's dangerous to go alone.
Take this. There's nothing here, but take it anyway.
Take the Switch.
Take
the
the
Wii U.
Switch.
Take the game.
So, what do you guys think of Breath of the Wild getting pirated on Wii U already, and spoilers for the game landing all over the place? Let us know in the comments.
For future updates on pirates and all of their shenanigans.
Yo-ho!
Be sure to like this video and subscribe to The Know.
I'm so sorry, I just said yo-ho. We hadn't made any pirate jokes yet.
More like you-ho.
Oh shit!
What?
Get wrecked, pirates!
From Reddit and a report from Kotaku and a couple of places, it looks like gamers recently discovered they could download